Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. I have Volca with me. Today he agreed to come discuss with me about the new dreams. So I'm I'm pretty excited, a bit nervous. Volca is such a legend. But maybe for the rare people that don't know about you, Volca, do you want to take a bit of time to present yourself? Like, who are you? What do you like in Dofus? How long have you been playing? How long have you been a content creator?
I think it would be interesting to know if in the chat there are people that don't know about me because if they don't exist. We can directly go to dreams.
I mean, I'm gonna probably make a video out of this. So if you want to just take, let's say 2 minutes to present yourself, that would be great.
Okay. So I don't play like other players. So other players, they play the game, let's say, normally.
Yeah.
For me, I might take the game a bit too seriously. Like I read all the monsters or all the effects. I study my finds like it would be some serious engineering issue. So and I use all of this to do optimal minimalistic stuff in the game, like soloing stuff, doing dungeons the fastest way possible, or with only common spells, things like
Yeah.
that.
And so this is a challenge that you're giving to yourself just for the fun of it, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that's the way you enjoy the game. And out of that content, you've made content creation as well. Like you make videos and you make. I don't know if you stream still. I know you stream at some point.
I stopped like 3 years ago.
Okay. So yeah, but you keep making videos about it. I saw that you made a video about the soloing Ripper recently. How long did that take you, for instance?
I still do videos, yeah. But it's occasional. Like sometimes I might do 3 videos a week. Sometimes I don't do anything for several months. The Ripper, I did it on Monday. It actually took me more like 2 days, but this is because there's a bug with the waves.
Okay.
The bugs, the waves, they appear randomly. It's not really random. There is a way to know why the waves are bugged, so I couldn't do the fight, and I actually got to know why it's the case, so I could avoid the bug and do the fight. But I won't share it. We keep it private for now. But anyway,
Yeah, no worries. I
business
won't
usual.
ask you to
Yeah.
divulge all of your secrets. I'm sure you have many secrets, but yeah.
I mean, it's not a very important secret. It's just some random bug of the
Yeah.
new update.
Do you sometimes like report these bugs, or do sometimes people ask you for your expertise to solve or to understand some bugs, or that's never happened? I mean, like I'm
I guess
a
I guess bugs aren't really my thing, but it's often the case that I report bugs.
okay.
Anyway, I find my accent to be terrible. I actually consume a lot of English content, but I never speak it, so it doesn't help, I guess.
Well,
But anyway, as
I
long
think
as you
everyone
understand
can
me.
understand you properly, and I just want to take that moment to thank you for making this effort to come to my stream, to talk in English, to create content for the English community. It's not the biggest community, but there are a lot of people that are very enthusiastic about the game, and so I'm sure everyone is very grateful for you to be here, me included, of course.
I guess no problem.
All right, so first of all, before we dive into the new rework, I want to just refresh myself on what's your opinion of the current version of Dreams. So, what do you think is working really well right now? What do you think should be improved? I think you made a list of like all the monsters and a difficulty rating. So that was something that you were
Yes, that's already
pushing forward.
some
Yeah.
years ago, actually.
So yeah, tell me a bit like what do you think of the current state of dreams? I know that you have like I saw you at the convention with a sign that said
Yeah.
make dreams great again." Before
Yes,
reading
indeed.
the blog, what did you think needed to be improved?
I mean, the positives, there isn't much. Like I'd say it's positive that you can do the quests. It's functional. Like you can actually use the feature, but that's about it.
Okay.
Um, what needs to be improved? I mean, I could obviously go on for an hour, but let's keep it more concise.
Yeah.
Um, Major problems. I'd say balancing, because there is no difference between any monsters you get in dreams. Like you can get a monster from 2025 and some random monster that you can victimize from 2004. And there's no difference between them. The scaling is completely non-functional. So actually, I think that like 90% of the community doesn't even care. But like 90% of all monsters in dreams are not functional if they're scaling. Basically, the higher their base level is,
Yeah.
the better they scale. But if you have a level 10 monster on floor 200, for example, it will hit you once for 200, which makes no sense scaling
Yeah.
wise.
And so this is exacerbated the higher you go, basically, right? So the balance is bad at floor 200, but it's even worse at floor 2000. Is that what you're saying?
I think it's still quite linear. It might be a bit exacerbated, but yeah, I mean, it's basically it's terrible either way. Be it floor 200 or floor 2000.
Okay.
Basically, you always want the easy monsters, because if you have to hit whatever corruption monsters, you don't have any bonus for your efforts or anything. Obviously, the technical architecture is complete shit. You're probably aware of the tens or even hundreds of bugs that exist.
Not all
Re-
of
rec-
them, but I know there's a big list.
Recently, there was a guy. He posted a video about the top 10 bugs of dreams, the most funny bugs, I guess. It's a guy that's very passionate about finding deep bugs in the game.
Okay.
But anyway, it's French, so it's not relevant. But it's
And
just
it can be
to
relevant.
make
Yeah.
it's just to make the point, I guess. The challenges, obviously, the fact that to optimize your dreams, the challenges are a major factor.
Yeah.
So basically, if you have two easy challenges, you have plus 150% for each. You get 300%. So if you do some random challenges, you get 4 times the dream points. So challenges are absolutely essential. And I think I won't go into detail why they're catastrophic, but basically to sum it up, challenges are thought for farming.
Yeah.
This means that if you fail challenges, um, when you farm, it's not a big deal, because you will just compare, is it worth restarting or is it worth to just do without, depending on what's quicker. But if you do challenges in dreams, it's way more frustration, because you have basically no incentive to continue, but you need to just restart, because the bonuses, you have them infinitely if you do have 2000. So basically, the context of gameplay is not at all adapted.
Yeah, it's the same challenge, but it's a different context. So
Yeah,
it kind of doesn't make sense.
yeah, exactly. And let's what could we name as well? The bonuses, I guess, and the progression in general. the bonuses aren't very interesting. The only interesting bonuses that you can only use them on the next floor. On the very next floor, you don't even know if they'll be of any use, because anyway, 90% of floor you just found them. You don't even need such a bonus. I'm talking about things like doubled vitality or stuff like that.
Okay, yeah, I was
And
gonna ask. Thank you.
and other than that, the bonuses just destroy theory crafting. If you advance in your dreams floor 400, 500, 600, etc., you'll have basically one single set that focuses on crits and resistances, and there's no point having more sets because everything is trivialized with thousands of stats and etc.
So just to make a recap, I'm not super familiar, but I think I understand. When you get to high floors in dreams, you start to get so many stats from the bonuses that you bought with Dreams Point that it's no longer essential to have these stats on your set. So you're just building the set with the
Yes.
highest resistances, because resistances you cannot get them in dreams. And you also want to get high crit chance, because once again, crit chance is not something that you can
Yeah.
get from dreams.
I know one guy, you might know him. He's crazy. He grinded to floor 4000 and beyond. He is
Okay, yeah.
actually almost 5000. He has like items, they are absolute trash in the real game, but
Okay.
it's like they are maged in a way that there's absolutely nothing or almost nothing on the item except like a 2 or 3% spell damage.
Okay.
Because if you have
It's just
like,
this. Just spell
I don't know,
damage.
let's say you have 50,000 stats, you don't freaking care about 50 stats in your item.
Yeah. But the percentage, it scales. And yeah, we're gonna talk about this percentage scaling when we're gonna get to the new suggested Dreams rework, because they switched it to this way. But okay, so you have a lot of problems that you just mentioned about the old version of Dreams. You're saying the only positive thing is that they're
They're
functional for
fun.
quests.
Yes,
Yeah, they work.
exactly.
You go there. There are indeed some monsters. You can indeed kill them, and then you can indeed drop some stuff like for dreams. Not for dreams, for Volbis, for instance, or for Ebony. You just need to do a couple of floors. But so at this point, you've stopped playing dreams completely. Am I correct?
My last run dates like 1 or 2 years, I guess,
Okay. And
probably.
so at this point, you decided to stop because all of the problems that you just listed, I guess.
Yes, but also because I had less time, and I mean
Okay.
it's very repetitive if you go 2000 and beyond.
Yeah.
You don't really find any more stimulation gameplay wise, and I had real life things to do, so I preferred just stopping. Also because of challenges, because it was more and more frustrating to have to do challenges.
I
As I
understand.
said, which made no sense.
Yeah, so that's one of the other negative points that you didn't mention exactly, but it's really repetitive and it takes a long time if you want to reach very high floors, right? So for me,
Yeah.
I think this was kind of one of the problems. And I'm just gonna preface this: you probably don't know me. I'm not like a big Dream fan. I'm mostly a compared to you, I would call myself a casual PvM player. I do the content like that 90% of the people do. I do the dungeons, I do the quests, but I'm not like at the point where to challenge me, I need to go
Yeah.
into do high dreams. And for me, the one of the things that I disliked about dreams was it was mostly the same. Like it's just repetitive fights. I never did super high floor dreams. I mean, I did like anywhere from 200 to 400, but never over 400. And like between 200 and 400, it feels kind of the same. Every room is like, did you roll the dice and have like some easy gobble monsters? Yes. Just spam some attacks. You're done. And if no,
I mean,
well, you have to
it's
challenge
it's
yourself a bit.
actually it's actually less repetitive if you actually challenge yourself with your hard rooms. But the thing is, there's rarely an incentive
Exactly. Yeah,
to
yeah.
do
That's
this when
that's
you
true.
can just you just need I don't know a shitty nightmare with a low level boss, so that you have a big chest for no effort, and you just give the servitude and the vortexes and
Yeah.
etc. So it's not actually repetitive, but you're incentivized
To take the
to
easy
hit
path, which is in.
some trash at each floor and reach 400 and repeat.
Yeah, I get it. I understand. Okay. So this was the point. I wanted to make a quick point on the current state. Now, I thought that one thing that was very interesting in the dev blog of Ankama is that they told us at the start that they wanted to make the difference between vision, or I don't know, intention and implementation. So they start by presenting us like the objectives that they're trying to attain by redesigning the dreams. So my question is, let's put all gameplay aside and just discuss about intention. What would be like, what are the goals that dreams should accomplish? For instance, I can give you a quick example of that is my vision. It should have like great replayability, and it should offer a content
But
for.
you said you should ignore gameplay. I guess we can't ignore gameplay if you talk about this,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
it can't
obviously,
be
but
realistic.
let's. What I meant to say is let's ignore
The
implementation
details.
details, yeah, and let's just like what what makes a great dreams game mode for you.
I mean, I did like a 1 hour video on this, and
Okay, then.
they actually listened to me in many instances in this devlog, so you can't really compare it to the first one. There's actually a night and day difference.
No, no, I mean just let's put aside the devlog and just present to us like your vision for like it could take, it doesn't need to take a long time, but just what do you think, who do you think dreams should be made for, and what do you think.
For everyone.
Okay, for everyone, can you elaborate a bit more on that? Like, how do you see, how can you make a game mode that's available for everyone? And well, I guess that's more into implementation, but like, what goal
You
should dreams fill that is not filled by the normal PvM battles that are already in the game?
maybe let's address the for everyone first.
Yeah, sure, sure, sure,
You have
absolutely.
several possibilities to allow several ways to farm the feature, and they plan to implement one of them, which is different intensities.
Yeah,
So
that's really
no
good.
matter no matter how you want to play the game, you can still do dreams. Um, what was the second point again?
So
I forgot.
it's like, maybe it's a too vague of a question, but like, what what niche does dreams need to
I
fill?
remember.
Okay, okay,
I
perfect.
remember. It's what the actual game doesn't offer.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, it's obviously endless, repeatable content, um, which is not farming. So where you will less for yourself,
Yeah,
because obviously you can have repeatable content in the normal game, but
yeah,
the content doesn't vary. Like, I don't know, you farm some random dungeon. Once you have your strategy, you'll do the same thing over and over. The dreams should recompensate your reflection, your analysis, etc. way more than in the actual game. And obviously, for the players that are bored, that no longer have any objectives, um, who simply accomplished the whole game already.
okay.
But yeah, this thing also they obviously included it, and it's also a thing that's responded with the difficulty levels. Apparently, there are some levels which are very hard, which are maybe undoable.
Yeah,
Which
we'll have to see for sure.
yeah.
Okay, so I guess we kind of touched a bit on the dev blog, but let's start to dive into it more into like the details of the implementation. So I know you said that you weren't too big of a fan of limiting to 30 floors in your first reaction video. But I want to ask, do you think that having the different difficulty completely kind of negates that criticism? Or do you still feel like 30 floors is too little?
I think it negates it quite well.
Okay.
We obviously have to see the exact implementation because the concepts obviously they sound great, but the implementation it can change a lot of things. You can you can't exclude that at the end of September it's a complete disaster because the numbers don't make any sense. There's no balancing, etc. So
Yeah,
we
obviously,
can't be
obviously.
sure.
But I mean, changing the numbers, in my opinion, it is much more easy than changing the
Yeah,
whole gameplay. So we can
it's
only
maybe
speculate. Like we,
it's maybe not as easy with 5,000 monsters, but generally,
yeah, obviously the monster balancing is gonna be something that's gonna be probably
yeah.
hard to nail exactly perfectly, but this can be iterated upon. And for most other things, then it's pretty easy to adjust to pull the right
If
levers. And then, so let's,
it,
for the sake of this discussion, let's pretend that the numbers, well, we can control if they're going to be
yeah, I guess
well
it's more
balanced.
interesting to print.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Let's pretend that it's
Um,
perfectly balanced and it's a masterpiece. But and let's just talk about
I mean,
the
let's
game
say
design.
there are some levels where like players like me, we have I don't know 20%, 30% win rate. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously this will be interesting, and we wouldn't really need infinite flows. It would maybe be a loss for the rankings
Mm-hmm.
because I I still think it would be easier with infinite flaws. Like I don't know, there's some guy that's the only guy who reached 36, and like I don't know, 6 months later there's some other random guy he reached flaw 37. You know, I think that's
Yeah,
more epic. But anyway,
I understand.
it
Yeah.
doesn't interest me. It doesn't interest me that much. The current version, like it's proposed, it's already quite interesting. They actually listen to me on plenty of things. As I said, there's night and day difference between the first devlog
Yeah,
that
I
didn't reassure me at all, but the second one there's a lot of ideas that I actually proposed in my 1 hour video and that are actually um, taken, often even in more detail. So obviously, I can be uh, I can be happy about that.
yeah, for sure. I remember seeing your video and agreeing with most of the points, if not all. And then when I saw the new blog, most of my worries were pretty much solved. But I remember that you said something. I'm gonna jump onto another part. I remember that you said that one of your um, issues with the first dev blog was the removal of wave fights, and this they
Yes.
stuck to their guns and they kept it removed. How do you feel about that? Do you still feel it would be nice to have the wave fights back, or do you think the fact that
I
they
mean,
added the monsters back without the wave mechanic is good enough?
they still have a wave fight at the very last floor, so at least they didn't do nothing, you know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I
You
didn't.
still have a wave fight at the last floor. I don't think they would be obliged to completely remove them. They could still have wave fights with like 2 or 3 waves. Like instead of having 8 monsters in your face, you could have like, I don't know, 3 monsters turn one, 2 more turn three, and things like that. You don't need to have the exact classic format of you have exactly 5 waves. In each wave, there's exactly 4 monsters.
Yeah, I
You could
understand.
have more diversity without prolonging the flaws necessarily. I guess it's still possible that without wave fights, it will be too easy. But I guess if you imagine a fight with, I don't know, 8 bosses, and all 8 bosses are recent, I guess it's hard. Obviously, we'll need
Yeah,
to we need to see. I
probably
I'm
gonna
I'm not
take.
saying that you will shit on every fight. It depends, as I said, on the numbers, etc. But in general, wave fights are about the only fights in the game that make us struggle. So if us, I want to say experienced player,
Yeah,
but
because
because in classic fights you can just you can just plan how to deal with each monster. There's no pressure. You
mhm.
can just I don't know, push them and pirate them, kill them fast, block them. Like you can very easily plan how to deal with each enemy, and there's no real challenge. But obviously, if you have a an overcharge of problems in your fight, it can get challenging.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, you think that wave fights are very unique in that they kind of put a timer on your fight. You need to solve that mechanic of the boss or that mechanic of the monster before that turn. Otherwise, you get overrun by all of the enemies, right?
Exactly, you need to improve the quality of it,
Hmm.
basically.
Whereas in the normal fight, you just, even if you make a mistake, then you can take your time to fix it. And
Exactly. But I understand that they are long, so I can understand that they remove them, and I'm already happy that at least they keep away fight from the last one.
yeah, for the last floor, like how hard do you think that will be? Do you think it's going to be one boss at a time or multiple boss at a time? What do you think about that last wave fight?
So the thing is, actually, it's extremely depending on the bosses themselves, even opposed to comparing them individually in their dungeon. Basically, for each boss, you have to pose the question if its mechanic, uh, how do you say it? I could say it in French, but in
Yeah, go
English, I'm
ahead.
so
I can translate.
um, uh, ajouter du poids sur le combat.
Oh yeah, yeah. Can you tell me the whole sentence so I can get like a so I don't mistranslate? The mechanic adds
uh,
some weight on the fight. That's what you mean?
it's a global mechanic. We can say it like that. Like I can give examples. Like
Yeah,
let's say you have Dazak.
yeah.
I don't know English names. I'm sorry. I don't
Just just say
like
them
any
in
English name
French.
for any boss. I have no idea. Like anyway, you have Dazak. It's a mechanic which is encapsulated in the
Yeah,
boss itself. Like it doesn't care about the rest of the fight. But if you have a coriander,
yeah.
it affects the whole fight and all the future waves, etc.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, I
Um,
get it.
so even if coriander sucks, if you compare him to the Zac that can one shot you,
Yeah,
coriander is still way stronger in such a fight where global mechanics can accumulate themselves. So the
I
balancing is
understand.
completely different.
Yeah, so some bosses have kind of a way to impact the whole fight. Every of your
Yes,
actions, you need to take care of the small glyph that's behind you
yeah.
from coriander. So yeah, I
So
understand. That's
obviously,
what you
if
mean by adding some weight onto the
yeah,
whole fight. Whereas some
yeah,
harder bosses, yes, you might struggle at that moment, But then,
You can kill them. It's over.
yeah, once you get
If
rid
you
of
have
them.
like, I don't know, wave one, you have coriander, you have Mrs., you have climb, you have corruption. You won't be able to think. Let's say it like that.
Yeah.
Whereas if you have 5 bosses, you can just kill them. I mean, obviously, this won't be very hard. So I think they need to specifically separate these type of bosses and balance it like that, because it's not the same balancing in a fight where you
Yeah.
have like I don't know, 20 bosses that spawn, or I don't know how many.
Yeah, we'll have to see how
But
many buses and
like
how many buses at the
likely
same time.
depends. I mean, it should obviously depend on the intent.
But I think, yeah, I think every monster, including the bosses, will get attributed a score, and then that score will depend. That score will make the fight
Yeah,
scale up or down. So if you're like completing dreams at difficulty intensity 1, then maybe you'll have like I don't know if Royal Gobble is actually that easy, but Royal Gobble and like
yeah,
easy bosses, easy quote unquote, because they're still going to be scaled. But
yeah. And obviously, this is excellent, but as I said, this score is not at all the same for a wave fight with several bosses. Because in the actual game, to retake the example, you'd need to scale coriander lower than Dazak, especially in fights where there are never any waves. But in this specific wave fight, coriander would be way higher than Dazak.
absolutely get it. And I didn't think of that. I'm hoping that Ankama did think of that and have attributed a different scoring system for the bosses. There's not that many bosses in the game. I think there's like
Yeah, so
less than 150.
it's not hard. It's not hard, especially the bosses that affect the whole fight. It's like, I don't know, 30, 40 maximum.
Yeah, there's not that many.
Yeah.
Okay, so but yeah, these bosses should have like a higher difficulty scaling in the last wave fight than in the rooms that where you might
Yes.
encounter them. Okay. But for sure it's going to be interesting to see like the exact format and
Yeah.
to see like I know that they added like a list where you can see all the monsters that you're going to face. So this
Yes,
is this is a pretty
you can
cool
even see where they are placed, the initiative, etc.
that was one of your
That's
feedback,
also
right?
something. That's also something I proposed actually, that you can see where they are
Yeah.
in private exchanges, and
Even in
they
your
actually
video, I
made.
think.
I don't think that I proposed it because I wasn't sure about the technical stuff, but they actually went out of their way to implement it um,
That is
into
pretty
their
cool.
interface,
Yeah.
that you can see them. So this is obviously appreciated.
Um, how do you think we're talking about like the preview of the fight? So like we can see the monsters, but there we also discovered that there's gonna be more starting positions and maps that are exclusive to Dreams. What do you think about that? Do you think it's gonna favorize specific comps? Like right now, there's like the meta comps. Do you think like having specific dream maps and a lot more starting position will help
I mean,
other
we
comps
don't
shine?
we haven't seen the maps, but
We've seen one.
no matter what the maps are, I find it to be a huge waste of time, because you could have just taken the 120 boss maps that you already have, and you change like nothing on these maps except the starting position, instead of creating 30 whole new maps with the environment, the graphical stuff, etc. So I find it a bit of a pity that they invested time to do this and just deleted basically the 120 maps that already
Yeah, well, they're not deleted. They're still going to be available in their dungeon, respective dungeons.
exist.
But yeah, I understand your point. Uh, but I remember they said that they wanted to have each map where you have obstacles in front of you, which is not the case in all of the dungeons. So I think that
I
was
mean, they could delete like between 10 and 20 maps. That's not the problem. But for almost all maps, you have obstacles.
okay. So not a big fan of the added
They're
maps.
like there are like very few maps that you could call controversial, like the Red Dungeon in Amakna.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know any names, sorry, but yeah.
it's fine.
Anyway,
Everyone
you've heard
is
of it.
used to interacting with other French people because let's face it, that's most
Yeah,
of the players. So if you're just doing your best, people are gonna understand, and if not, I'm gonna try to translate. Yeah, just give the French names, and people in chat are used to that. So
I guess.
just to come back on to the meta, do you think the meta will be shaken by that, like the dream comps? Do you think they will still see the same teams or different teams?
So as I said, I didn't see the 30 maps, not
Mm,
I
yeah.
so I can't give any statement on that. And other than that, the compositions will depend on the available bonuses as well. If there are more bonuses that favor melee compositions, maybe melee will be stronger, or maybe not necessarily stronger, but you have to think less. So
Yeah,
you can farm faster, you can sell your kamas faster. I don't know, things like
that's always something that is taken in consideration by the big
that.
players. Okay, what do you think about the bonus? While we're talking about that, do you think like percent based bonus is better? Do you think are you excited to see all the different spells and passives, or are you afraid that there's going to be some abuse? Give me your opinion on that.
That's actually also something I proposed in my video,
Yeah.
and where they listen to me. Basically, it's the fact that you have more interesting bonuses, and you have consumable bonuses that you can use in the moment where you find them appropriate
Mm-hmm.
or optimal, instead of just needing to use them on the very next floor where you don't even know what's the next floor. So there I'm talking about the current system.
Yeah.
But
Okay, so you think that having
because
them,
as far as I understood, there are like spells you use them once, one shot them up,
yeah,
and
exactly.
you lose it basically.
Yeah, there seems to be different patterns. For instance, there's like an AOE spell that you
Yeah,
can use every 5 turns, so that one you keep. But then there's also like a one-time use, one shot a boss. I thought that was
yeah, I
pretty
saw
cool.
that.
I
I agree.
when I read that, I immediately thought that people were gonna grief your dreams run when you're inviting them midway through by using these spells. Do you think there's a way Ankama can counteract that, or what do you think about that?
It would be funny if you can use the one shot spell on some ally, and you can get recruited, and you control your team and lose the whole team.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't be funny for
But
everyone, but for at least one person.
anyway, the definitive death is still catastrophic for recruitment. That's a
Yeah.
separate topic.
Yeah. Well, we can jump to that topic. Definitive death for you. If I'm giving a quick recap of your point, I think you said that having definitive death, not having definitive death, is interesting because it allows you to die and retry. Basically, that's one of the part that you enjoy about the game. Facing a
Yeah,
challenge and then not managing to do it first try, and then
I can
figuring it
already
out.
guarantee you that my videos will be way less interesting, or of uh, way smaller quality, because if I can just do first try fights, obviously I can't prepare stuff.
Yeah, it's
But
gonna be
in a
more interesting is in like really good spur of the moment, like, oh, I thought of this turn on the fly and I made it, but less
yeah,
impressive in terms of like it's a puzzle and that only Volca can solve it, and then you manage to solve it and everyone's impressed. I
yeah.
understand that.
But in a vacuum, I'm not fundamentally against it. Like I could enjoy both, but because I like analysis as well.
Yeah.
Actually, when I try like hard stuff, like I don't know, soloing some stuff, I actually hate trying to find things out. Like what I actually like a lot is prepare like script 5 turns in advance,
Okay.
so that I just have to do the fight like once and I know what's next. For example, if mobs are dead or if they're blocked, or I don't know, if they can't move for any reason, I don't test the fight. I already know what will happen and I don't
Hmm.
have to test several times. So that's something that I enjoy as well, obviously. But I think there are like several things that I mentioned in my video of why the definitive de- dev will pose problems. Recruitment obviously being one of
Yeah.
them, which I already mentioned. The fact that definitive dev probably means that the dreams will be too simple, which now might be counteracted by the higher intensities.
Yeah.
This we'll have to see.
Okay. Indeed.
And
Yeah.
there was a third point, but anyway, I forgot.
Okay. No worries. People can go watch your video after that to remind themselves what was your third point. But okay, so you think definitive death is gonna cause a problem for recruitment? I think having ephemeral spells might cause some problems with recruitment. How do you think this could be solved?
It
Uh,
can't be solved.
there's no way, right? It's like this is a problem that is bigger than just dreams. It applies to all Dofus, I think. Because when I play Dofus, even
I
if I
mean,
don't do dreams, I
do you have like roguelike games with instant death where you recruit some random players? No.
I think so. Yeah, I think there's some games with some matchmaking where you can play with randoms, but
Where you die instantly.
I mean, most roguelites, when you die instantly. But if one of the person dies, then you can revive
I
it.
mean,
Revive it. But
I don't really know almost about any games. I have no culture, but as far as I know, roguelikes are like solo games most of the time.
there's, I really personally, I'm a big fan of co-op roguelikes, but I exclusively play them with my friends. So I don't know about the matchmaking or like recruiting
Okay.
randoms, but I know that there's a lot of games that you can play with friends and they're roguelites. And if both of you die at the same time, then you have to start over. But the biggest difference I would say between Dofus and these games is that these games you play for your biggest motivation is just trying to get as far as you can and have fun while doing it. Whereas with Dofus, there's also like this economical point,
Yeah.
right? Where you need to complete your dreams run because you want that legendary item. You want that reward at the end. So if someone joins you and kind of trolls you in a normal game, let's say you play, I'm gonna take Helldivers for instance because it's kind of fits the bill and you can play with random. I don't know if you played it or if you know about it, but Helldivers is like a
I
shooter
have no
game.
idea.
You drop into some missions, randoms can help you. Then you have to clear a bunch of objectives. You're fighting aliens or robots, and then if you manage to clear out all of the objectives, then you extract and you have some smaller rewards. But the most like if someone drops into your game and kind of trolls you by shooting because there's friendly fire, so you can straight up
Yeah.
kill your allies. But you just kick that person and you're like, sucks. Let's just queue up
But
again.
I guess it's not very impactful. Like that's like a game if he shoots you all the time, maybe like 10% of your HP or stuff like that.
I know
Whereas it Dofus,
it's very dangerous to shoot your friends in Helldivers. It's
okay,
very easy to kill your friends, but
so
that's
it's
part
like
of the game. Like just it's one of the added challenges. Basically, if there's an enemy next to your friend and you miss and you shoot your friend, you have to pay attention to those kind of things. But once again, the whole point that I'm trying to make here is that there's no big money reward when you complete the game, the mission.
yeah.
It's just yay, you like unlock the next mission, but
In
you
Dofus,
you
if
can just
there's no
retry.
reward, there's nobody that's doing it.
Exactly, a
In
bit like
many cases.
gladiatorial. Uh,
Yeah.
but so I think yeah,
Or
that's one
you,
of the
you
issue.
probably forgot it already, but that ball game in Ponta Brakmar in the
The
arena.
ball or something like that.
Yes, yes.
I don't know when it was removed. It doesn't exist anymore, right? Or does it?
I don't know. I,
So that's one of the points you're trying
yeah.
to make. Gumball, it's called in. Thank you, Jay. Um, so yeah, that's a problem with Gladiator. That's a problem with the ball game. It's hard to balance, to find like a way to make people want to play with randoms while at the same time, like if these random troll you, then you're very mad because it deprives you from having the big rewards, right?
But then again, it's a problem in the entire game. I think
Exactly, yeah.
if you play in a mono account server and you play with randoms, you're stupid. Like you should get friends in the guild and
uh,
play with fixed people that you know that you can trust, etc. Because for me, if you play with randoms like every time and you aren't capable to do solo stuff, you're just set up for frustration.
oh yeah,
Like all the
I
time.
I would mostly agree with what you said. Maybe I would have said a little bit less bluntly. But yeah, I
I
that's
like
this
being
is a
blunt though.
no worries, man. It's fine. Um, but yeah, that's what I'm doing. I play on mono account, but I almost like I play maybe 1% of the time with randoms. Most of my time is just playing with friends and guilds.
So I didn't insult him.
No, no, you're fine. It was this close, but yeah, bullet dodge. All right. So yeah, regardless of like it being dreams or not dreams, randoms is like a hot topic that we're not gonna solve just the two of us right now.
Yeah.
So okay, let's talk about something else. We talked a bit about the rewards. We're talking a
By
bit
the
about
way,
the.
I remembered my third point that it's
Oh,
irrelevant.
go ahead.
It,
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
it's the fact that you have no idea about the placement, but now you know.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So
Okay.
this is all.
Yeah, I remember that. So when you said that you gave that feedback to Ankama, and I told you you were talking about it in the video. It's this point you were saying basically the fact that you die and you have to prepare yourself because you don't know the placement of the monsters
Yeah, yeah.
is kind of it's very shitty. It feels bad.
It, it makes the theory crafting way poorer than it
But
would be
this
with.
was solved mostly.
Yes, it is.
Okay, let's talk a bit about the rewards. They are getting rid of chests completely, and now you're gonna drop stuff straight up. They're basically revamping a couple of things as well. The legendary pet powers are now being craftable straight up. So there's less random, there's less gambling. I don't
There's
know if you were interested in
yeah,
that aspect. What do you think of that?
it's shitty. I'm very happy that you can just choose them like standard items and craft them and don't need to hope that you have the right one.
And what about the chests being removed and only like you dropping straight up the things? Were you like a big fan of huge openings? I know that people were like doing big chest opening, like multiple runs in one go, and they're opening everything.
So actually, to begin with, I have to admit that rewards don't interest me a lot. I didn't even read the part in the dev blog
Okay, okay.
because I don't really need the rewards. You know, I have billions. I don't need to that stuff.
Yeah, that's good. But
So
I'm still curious
it's
to get your opinion, even if you don't care. Like, just let's discuss a bit if you don't mind.
I think it depends on the distribution as well. Like which things you can obtain in the low intensities, etc.
Yeah, mostly nothing.
The,
I
the
think.
the thing that might interest me the most about rewards is probably the scaling of the most intense flaws. because if the multiplier compared to like intensity 7, if you compare 7 to 10, if the multiplier is too small, these features will end up like 400 plus currently because they have no monetary worth.
By that you mean
And
that
if
lot of people are not gonna play these difficulties, right?
yes, and even though I would still do them,
Yeah.
there's actually still an interest for me that other people do them, because the thing is, if no one else does it, I am like in my bubble, and
Yeah.
it's a very isolated topic, and it's something I can talk with like 3, 4 people that are as crazy as me and no one else. So
Okay.
it would still be of interest for me if more players are interested in these hardcore wars.
Because that way you can take part in the discussions and you have more people to relate to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's you're saying that it's lonely at the top if being at the top has only the fact that you're at the top as a reward and not like
Yeah,
monetary value. I think I don't know if you read it. You said you didn't read, but I don't know if you read that part. They said that floor 10 is going to be 1.15 times more drops than floor 7. Not floor
I
7,
read
but
it.
difficulty. So it is more. So people, if they want to like maximize as much as possible their chances, they're still going to be tempted to play
Yeah, but
difficulty 10,
I
but
think it's way too small.
it's too little.
But
Okay.
but obviously it depends on the difficulty. They probably announced that the 10th is very very hard. So not only you risk, but also you'll probably spend more time in your floors.
Mm,
So
yeah.
I don't know. Like let's imagine you have like the 10th intensity, and you have the best players of the game that have 10% win rate.
Yeah.
And not only they have 10% win rate, but the thing takes like twice as long. In
It's not
this
really
case,
worth it, right?
even if you have 1000% multiplier, it's still more worth it for you to do the 7 for monetary reasons,
Yeah.
because even though uh, you in the same time you could either win the 10 once or the 7 10 times, but you need double the time to do your tries for the 10. So you need like 2000% to compensate it.
Yeah,
So
I get
mm,
it. The
if
fact
it's
that
hardcore,
yeah,
they definitely need to expose the numbers, and actually they wouldn't need to expose the numbers as much, even because if people see like, wow, there's like 800%, I don't
yeah,
know,
yeah.
we know that there, when there's high reward, people
Pe-
get irrational and
yeah.
they
People are get drawn into the
yeah,
it's
like
it's four
we
times
know
as
it
much rewards, bro. I'm gonna go there straight up.
we know it from aging and crushing as well.
Yeah, yeah. People
It
like
might
big numbers.
even lower the generation, because they are just players that are curious, that will try it and die and maybe optimize their sets, try it again, stuff like that.
Yeah. We'll have to see. This I think this like the multiplier of loot based on the intensity is a super easy number to adjust. So if they're
Yes,
like unsatisfied with it, they can just do some patches and
exactly.
people are gonna see this that oh they doubled the rate of drops in floor 10 difficulty 10 intensity 10 sorry I'm having a
Yeah.
hard time and there people are gonna flock to that and and die in room 1 but still it's gonna bring some
It brings
action.
more excitement to
Yeah,
dreams. Yes.
and I guess also like if people are excited about intensity 10 or the higher like the last tier of intensity, then it makes a bit more hype also around your content, right? If you're doing like dreams floor
Yeah.
10 god damn it, intensity 10 and people don't care about it, it's kind of
They try to copy my intensity 10 auto win, even though it doesn't work. But
yeah,
some might still try, I guess.
yeah, it's not the same monsters. It's gonna be hard for you
Yeah,
to publish an auto win strategy, but
yeah.
I have high faith in you, so I'm sure you'll
People will
manage.
still desperately click on it. But
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah. That of course, of course. All right, let's take a look at the reworked shops and the map of every tier. So they introduced a couple of changes. Every uh, bracket, they're calling bracket, but palier in French, so you're following,
yeah.
has like a map, and that you can choose your path in that map. And some of
I,
these maps, some of these floors are going to be not even, there's not going to be even a fight there, and you're going to have like random favors, which are a random bonus that you get for free, or shops that are called fountains. Is this something that you think adds depth, or you think this is a bit like creating 30 maps where it was a waste of time and you don't like that?
I mean, it's still very abstract. I don't really know what to make of it. Like, we don't know after each palier, after each block,
Yeah,
do you get one bonus, two, three? How strong are they? How do you impact? Do they impact your run? How much do they cost? If you do only hard fights, can you buy like three of them? So we still have
yeah,
no information. For me, it still says nothing. I just know that you accumulate interesting bonuses, like the fact that you can hit one more time with your weapon, for
yeah.
example, or spells that can pass turn or one shot mobs. So this is interesting by itself, but the fact that you can get them like every year,
Okay,
because it doesn't tell me anything.
yeah. So you're you don't want to like emit an opinion before you know more.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Um, let me see if there's something more that's worth mentioning. Um, I've thought of something, but I can't remember. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through the things. Oh yeah, I wanted to ask you about legendary items and legendary pet powers, not in a sense of reward, but in a sense that like, what do you think of that system in Dofus in general, and how often are you using these kinds of things? Do you think it's mostly situational, or do you think it's really like to have like the most optimal but build you need to use these things?
So I think they are better than they were like 5 years ago.
Okay.
There are way less of them which are trash. Obviously, there are still very few that are meta. Like I think in PvP there still are like I don't know, two or three different ones that are frequently played.
Yeah.
For my purposes, they are very interesting actually.
Okay.
I already used like between I don't know, like between 10 and 20 different ones for different solo pitches. But other than that, PvM nowadays is extremely simple, so you don't really need them, and
Yeah.
they are way too expensive what they are. Obviously, um, if you like level up characters with a craw and just sell your karmas and this kind of stuff, you want to be faster, so you'll catch the how it's called. Anyway, I don't know English names, but things that boost your damage by 10% fix, or like 16% if you kill an entire wave of monsters.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, for farming rapidly, it can be interesting. For a tank panda, which buffs the whole team 4%, which is completely broken, by the way. I don't know
Yeah.
they buff this one, but yeah, I think they're interesting things. I also used pretty extensively one of them, which is almost never used. It's the
Okay.
one that if you dodge some enemy, you lose the AP or MP, like you're locked. I don't know if you say that in English like that, but in
Yeah, if you're
French,
locked by an
ici
enemy
de
and
papier.
you try to, yeah, you try
You,
to
you
dodge
gain you,
away.
you gain 1 AP. I played this very frequently actually, micro optimization, because you can precisely prepare your dodge against some enemy. So that, for example, if you have 2 AP left, you know that if you dodge, you don't lose any more AP. So
Yeah.
with this thing, you just gain 1 AP for free, and you can do this several times in the fight. But obviously, this is very specific, but you can still
Okay.
have a lot of benefit by exploiting it.
So like if you're using, let's say, let's give a simple example of this one, just to make sure that I understand. When you're next to an enemy, sometimes you'll have to pay AP and MP to dodge away from it.
Yeah.
But if you don't have enough AP, you won't lose any AP, but only, let's say, maybe 1 or 2 MP.
Exactly.
And
You,
in
you
that
need like
scenario,
more MP than AP, because if you lose like 188 AP, you because it's rounded up, so you just gain 1 AP for free.
okay, so that way you just gain free AP by dodging away from
Yeah.
enemies, and you
I
can do
I
that every
use
turn, right? Or
yeah I
multiple times per
used it.
turn?
No,
Okay, okay.
maybe this was changed, but I'm not sure. But I think I used this like in almost every fight when I did solo touches with Teamer. But this is already a year ago, I think, or two.
Okay. So you like having these kind of niche options that you can figure out like something
Yeah,
interesting with it to do. Oh, this
I
is gonna
do.
be super useful in this solotage.
I mean, it's not. I don't tell myself it's super useful
Yeah, no,
either,
but
but
like gives you like the
it's
5%.
it's still a final optimization,
Cool.
which isn't stupid. Like it isn't the final optimization of like pay 50 million, you gain 3% damage. Still need to
Yeah, yeah.
think to use them wisely when it fits your need.
Okay. Okay. So do you think like there should be a rework of these pet powers or legendary items to make them more
I
mainstream? Or
I
do you think they're
think
fine as is?
there's still objectively trash among them, so you can still do some balancing, but fundamentally they will never be very popular because the the game basically works around the meta, and meta slave like in almost every game, not only Dofus.
Yeah.
And it's very hard to popularize different legendary pets, for example.
The only way to
And
popularize this would be to have things that are broken or like super strong. Then everyone is gonna
yeah,
play them and they're gonna
obviously,
become meta. Yeah.
but very niche options obviously will never be meta, and they won't be played a lot. This doesn't mean they are bad by any means, but just no one plays them because it's too niche, and especially because no one in this game except me and some other idiots are planning to do very specific uh, stuff like solo touches and speedruns,
Yeah.
etc.
And stuff that these specific power enable you to do when you're solo, they can be like
Yes,
padded by another class when you're playing with some friends. Right? That like
yeah, also.
having some friends is better than having a legendary item in most cases. So
Yeah,
when you're playing with a nice team of friends, you don't really need to like min max to that limit.
maybe with the new dreams, if you do hardcore stuff, obviously they will have. Uh, you don't say more interest, but they will have
Value
more
maybe.
incentive,
Okay.
more value.
Yeah.
Because the French word would be plus d'intérêt.
Yeah, I get it. I get
Okay.
it. Quick
But
parenthesis, we're gonna jump outside of the scope of dreams because this is a topic that I'm interested in and I'm curious to get your opinion on it. It's similar. It's about class items. What do you think about class items? I saw that you did like a bunch of videos on Upper Mage when the class hat was like absolutely broken. But
I,
they
I won't
since
say absolutely broken. Like it basically it's allowed to rival. Now that it's destroyed, it's only crit damage.
yeah,
I
it's
don't have an issue with it, but anyway,
right now it's kind
you you,
of
you you you
bad.
you can't call it broken because just because you have like spells for 201 AP, but because at the end of the day, your damage still was roughly equivalent to.
Yeah, okay, but I think maybe broken was a bit of an exaggeration, but
Yeah,
it
it was
made
very
you.
strong.
It
It
was
was
very
very
strong.
strong.
Okay. So, do you like when these items allow you to have like multiple options? Do you feel like it's a problem to balance overall in the game? They talked a bit about keeping them only for PvM and adding like some power into them and removing them from PvP because it was frustrating in PvP. I'm just
So
curious to get your opinion on that overall.
I actually don't know if you saw it, but they just like they destroyed like 80%, 90% of all class
Yeah,
in a
yeah. I
recent
was really
update.
sad about that.
Like you look at like any class set and all items are completely useless. There's only I don't know like no line of sight on irrelevant spells, range where you already have 12 range, things like that. So yeah, they basically said they were very lazy. Like they said, okay, it's problematic. We'll just destroy all of them and see for later. So obviously now they aren't very interesting except for some very niche options that you might
Yeah.
use sometimes. Like when I do Ripper Satida, obviously I play a class build which allows me to summon more often, but this is a very precise strategy, so I wouldn't use them in any other context.
Okay.
Basically, and some niche stasis like that. But yeah, basically, they are dead. I don't know what they plan with them.
But what would you
Um,
like them to do with them? Are you happy that they're dead, or are you sad? What do you think would
I
be a
actually
good?
like their state from before. At least if you take the class items that were frequently played,
Yeah,
I found them to be quite enriching for the game. I mean, obviously in PvP, they could be quite surprising sometimes,
yeah.
but they still were interesting and enriching the theorycraft. Now there's nothing left.
Okay, so I think we're
Yeah.
pretty much on the same page on this one. It's always fun
So
to have.
what I would have done probably is on the contrary keep the items that are playable and take the items that no one played anyway and up these items.
Yeah, make them useful or like enable these items to like unlock
It,
new gameplay modes on the classes. That's
because
what I like basically. You have your class.
they even destroyed the items that no one played anyway.
Yeah, it's just they were like, oh, it removes one AP, just delete that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a
So,
pretty sad day. I was very very sad. Okay, end of the that parenthesis. I think we've made pretty much the like on the filter we like covered everything that I
so
wanted to talk
you
about for.
prefer French as well. You have the
Yeah,
French expressions, but not the English one.
exactly. Well, I'm French native speaker.
I see.
Uh,
And why do you do content in that community?
I started.
I'm obviously exaggerating. You know what I mean.
Yeah, and I know what you mean, and I kind of stumbled upon this community because of Malt. I think he interviewed you in one of his podcasts with Skizio,
No,
maybe.
no. I
You
never
did.
spoke to that guy.
Okay, okay. Well, there's a guy called
By the
Single
way,
Malt.
it's possible that he wrote me someday and I ghosted him. That's actually possible, but
Yeah.
it's probably because I wasn't available.
Okay, okay. Well, I'm probably misremembering, but Single Malt did a bunch of interviews. He even interviewed Papino and Manaya. So it kind of got onto my radar, and I discovered the English community. I thought it was pretty cool. I didn't feel like, you know, for you, when you're doing PvM content, you have like kind of something that's unique to you, where you're doing stuff that no one else is doing because it's very hard, but you really like the theorycraft.
I tried.
Yeah, that's your kind of signature, let's say.
Yeah,
For me, I didn't feel like by doing content creation in French, I would bring something new, but I thought that my English and my French were both pretty good. And so being here and available for the English community to allow them to have the chance to get some content like this, where sometimes I will translate articles, I will translate Ankama Lives. I translated, for instance, the Hopper Mage guide made by Schizio and some stuff like that. So
I see.
I'm trying to bridge the gap between the English and the French community, and that's why I'm streaming in English. That's a bit of a background story of mine. Do you think you want? Do you have anything else about Dreams and the new rework that you want to touch on? If not, we're gonna go towards the chat and ask them if they have some questions for you, if you're comfortable with it.
Currently, I don't have anything else in mind. Maybe something could come into mind, but
If you think of anything, feel free to interrupt and
I guess.
yap about anything you want. That's the whole goal. So anyone in the chat want to ask questions to Volca about the new Dreams, or I mean, any question that you have for Volca, he's gonna be he might tell you that he doesn't want to answer if it's too personal, but anything that you want to ask. Not Dreams related. What happened to your Xeller Aneris video? Do you have anything? Do you know what he's talking about?
Stellar Underrace was that when I humiliated Tweeps, I guess. This was probably the only time where I did this. Like in 4 turns or 3 turns, I no longer know. I know which video is meant.
Okay.
But if it's not accessible, maybe it's some copyright bullshit that blocks my video. I don't know.
Okay, you
Because
didn't.
I never removed it.
Okay.
This video. But I remember that I used some copyrighted music in the past.
Okay. So maybe it's
Sometimes
that.
random shit happens. Like in 2 years, you got some email. By the way, your video is not the copyright status changed. Stuff
Okay.
like that.
I had a good explanation. It had a good explanation
Or
of
maybe
when. Sorry.
wait, maybe this guy just doesn't find the video because the title is unrelated.
Because what? Sorry, it cut a
Because
bit.
the title is unfindable. Like the title, I remember that in the past that titles just to troll, that don't have anything to do with the actual. So
Okay.
it's actually because of that he doesn't. But he can just scroll my channel. It's not as if I do one video. I make
Okay.
maybe one video per month, so it wouldn't take hours to.
So he said he
But
found
maybe
it, and Persona even linked it in the chat.
okay,
So
yeah.
mystery solved. YouTube rivalry strikes again. So I'm just curious to get a bit more about why you said like that you humiliated Tweeps. Was that like, did you make this video specifically in reaction to one of his videos? What's what's happening there?
As far as I remember, Tweeps when he was starting in the game, he did like an Annery's solo tech that took like 37 turns, and he was very proud that he did duo time.
Yeah.
So I decided to do it in 3 or 4 turns. I already forgot how many it was.
Okay, just to show him how it's done.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, thanks for the context. I have I am Janiek, who's asking, do you have any interest in the PvP side of Dofus? You want to tell us, like, have you ever played PvP? How do you feel about PvP generally?
I actually did PvP exclusively in the game that I played before Dofus. I was very much into Yu-Gi-Oh! Also in a very tryhard level.
Okay.
I stopped it like 10 years ago. It doesn't no longer interest me. And it's like this. It's basically the same reason. It's because the toxicity,
Okay.
um, the fact that matchups might not be fair. Like for example, if my matchup is extremely good and I just bash him away,
Yeah.
I can't be very proud of my
Mhm.
stuff. And same for the reverse.
Yeah, there's not much you can do when you have a bad
Yeah,
matchup.
so if I need to summarize it, it's the emotional component of PvP
Okay.
that started to repel me from this mode.
Very relatable. Good answer. 10 out of 10, I would say. All right. We have a follow up question from Jay, who's asking, why don't you use keyboard shortcuts? Once again, it's not Dreams related, but he
Uh,
doesn't know much about Dreams because he's playing on Shadow.
so actually, I started to use them a bit recently
Okay.
when I farmed, specifically when I farmed the new because normally you need to know I'm like not at all a player that farms a lot. Like even doing like the same dungeon, I don't know, 3 or 4 times um consecutively, it's unbearable, you know.
Yeah.
Recently there were some exceptions because you have to admit that the new content recently with the rare extremely lucrative
Yeah.
to get some money. So obviously I started to use them a bit, but as I said, I take my time. I did never care about how fast I play, and it's just more comfortable for me to play with a single hand.
With your mouse. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. So no
I
worries.
mean
You're never in a hurry, so it doesn't
I
bother
can
you to click.
understand that it's probably unrelatable because there are many other games where you basically need shortcuts, but I'm not a gamer
Yeah.
by default, so I, 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 I don't really know this. And
You.
it's funny to have it as a gag
Yeah.
that people can basically make fun of me for not using shortcuts. I don't really care, but as long as they find it funny.
Yeah. They're making fun of me with my double spell bar setup, so I can relate somewhat. All right. Persona asks, why did you not win the PvM tournament?
Um,
Someone says
so
that it was because it was full of bugs.
objectively, it's true that officially we didn't win, but if you look at the system, the the 5 or 6 last challenges on the last days or last, we won like all of them except the last one.
Okay.
We were like first place on all of them except the very last, and the previous challenges had like no impact except giving us like 5 minutes in advance on the very last challenge, which didn't matter because we lost 10 minutes by losing a fight because of the visual bug
Mm,
that confused us. So I'm not saying that we should deserve to win the last one. We clearly fucked up the last fight, and
yeah.
we lost in a deserved manner.
Okay.
I'm just saying that you can't necessarily say um, which is the best team, you know, because the system didn't make any sense.
Okay.
Okay, because as I said, like
I
all the
understand.
challenges had literally or almost literally no impact last one, although we won like everything that came before it.
So you won all of the things that
But
didn't matter, and then when it came to the
exactly.
one that
But I'm not
mattered,
I'm not here either to tell you that I'm like the PvM god or anything. Think
yeah.
that in fact the four teams at the end, we were indeed about equal. I think we were
Okay.
all good players, and just because I do some random videos on the internet, that you have to glaze me as much as you do.
Okay.
So,
I don't think that's gonna stop people, but duly noted. Follow up question from Persona. I'm just gonna take this one real quick. Will you win the next one? I know they announced a new, for those who are not aware in the chat, they announced new tournaments for 2025, mostly PvP, but at the end of the year, around the last week of December, I think it's the December 20th, there's going to be a new PvM tournament. So do you intend to win this one? Do you intend to take part of this one?
I don't know if I will have time. I don't know the format. Maybe without shortcuts, you have no chance. So I don't know. You, I have to see um for what it resembles as,
Yeah.
what type of challenges you have to complete, etc.
So very
I mean,
cautious about trash talking the
it's
other ones. You want to see first before.
it's like I participate, I guess, because obviously this is destined for me.
Yeah.
But you never know. Like, I'm sorry, but it's an empty question. You ask about some random tournament, know absolutely nothing about.
I mean, I don't know if you watch some esport, but or just any sports basically. People are asking sometimes questions to try to bait the interviewee
Yeah,
to kind of trash talk their opponents. But
and
well done,
and
you
later
you
you
stayed
you can
humble.
and later you can start the clip that he was
Exactly.
wrong
Yeah,
and
they're trying to get some
he
clippable
was
content where
yeah.
Volca trash
Uh,
talks the other teams.
I'm sorry. I'm no fan.
It's fine. It's fine. All right. Let's see if there's any other questions. Omar says the winner is my friend and he's a newbie. Frankie's gonna win. Okay. Oh, Hugo. By the way, I didn't say thank you for the raid earlier. Thank you very much. I didn't want to interrupt the discussion, but I really appreciate it.
Merci, Hugo.
Yeah. Dreams related question. Do you think with what has been shown, will it be more popular than we already know at the moment? That's a good question.
I actually recently I didn't follow the public opinion as much. I wasn't very active with what the community thinks, so I can't really say it. Obviously, you know that for me the current version is trash.
Yeah.
I actually I can't say it because I don't. But it will likely be better. Like, I would bet money on it, probably like 90%, 80% chance
Yeah. I
that
would tend to agree with that. I think,
reception will change.
like you said in one of the first questions, like dreams should be in your vision and in mine as well, available, like accessible to everyone.
Yeah.
And you could argue that
And
the current version was, in fact, accessible to everyone, but it wasn't really that fun, like that fresh. Didn't feel like you were playing like
I
something
mean
completely different.
it was basically made uh, by programmers without game designers. Like, okay, the bare bones work, but it's like the
Yeah.
game design is catastrophic. Like, there's nothing
So yeah,
basically.
we're hopeful that the next version is going to be much better in terms of game design and that it's going to draw more people. What
Yeah,
about you? Go.
obviously the second dev block, it's extremely promising, way more than the first one, but we'll have to look at the execution because they could just balance as I said, they could balance in a stupid way, and it will still be catastrophic after September. But as you said as well, it's not that hard to tweak numbers.
Yeah,
It's
so
just a lot to balance.
I like to be optimistic about stuff, so I'm gonna keep that way for dreams. I'm gonna be optimistic about them. Let's see what you're saying. My concern is how much do people will actually see how nice this feature is, and mostly it is nice to replay. Anomalies are very nice. That's true. That's true, but it's borderline unpopular, sadly. Well, because of this insanely popular stream that I'm doing right now, with probably billions of viewers, people are gonna all gonna know about dreams. They're gonna know about my opinion. They're gonna know about Volca's opinion. So there it is. Problem solved.
You just need stuff that sells well, and people will try it. You know.
Yeah, that's true.
Promote
That's true.
money. It's all about big. I mean, anyway, if you have quests that need the stuff, you'll have to do them anyway.
Yeah.
Like the treasure hunts, what everyone is excited about when doing their red Dofus.
what are you trying to say about the treasure hunts?
It's trash.
Yeah, it is trash. Yeah, I don't know if you saw
and
this
everyone
video.
must still discover it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It forces everyone to do it because everyone wants the Crimson Dofus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I get your point. So if everyone wants a reward from Dreams, even if Dreams is trash, they're still gonna do it.
Yeah.
Or like buy the reward.
So they decide by themselves. Is it fun or is it trash? You know.
Yeah. Okay, let's check the other comments or questions. Jay is asking, you said Ankama responded to some of your feedback for Dreams. Have they ever reached out to you in an unofficial capacity? So have they contacted you to get your opinion on stuff? Because I know they said sometimes in some Ankama lives that when they're trying to rework some features, they try to get the opinion of like the people that are involved into this. So they said, oh, when we were doing the breeding rework, we were talking with some discords of breeders. Did they reach out to you about the rework?
It's actually very frequent, but it's private.
Okay.
But I can just tell you that, as I said, they actually listen to a lot of ideas that I proposed. So obviously, I'm happy about it.
Okay, so you have reached in official capacity to Ankama, but you like there's probably NDA or something, or you just don't want to talk about it. Okay, I think that's good enough for Jay. Let's see if there's any interesting questions. Sadly, I think the feature popularity will highly depend on the new legendary items. Yeah, I think that's maybe what they're trying to do here. Kind of push forward new legendary items that people are gonna get hyped about, that you cannot get into the old chests that are still in circulation, and then so people are gonna jump into the dreams and try to farm it.
But then again, there can be a lot of very good items objectively, but which still nobody plays because it's not meta.
Yeah, so it's gonna depend on the popularity and the meta.
Among the current ones, there are a lot that are absolutely broken, but it's still not meta, so you can buy them basically for free. Like the wand that makes you invisible, just an example.
Yeah, very good, very strong. Okay, question from Eslix. When will we see Solo Dreams Floor 030 video? Once again, it's gonna depend on stuff, but I'm gonna let you answer this one, Volga.
I mean, if I can do the intensity 10 solo until the end, I will be very disappointed, obviously.
I think Ankama is gonna be very disappointed too.
Yeah. If there's one thing where I'm almost certain that I never solo, it's the intensity 10.
Okay.
And if I do solo it, they're in absolute morons in terms of balancing and this and dosing their bosses, I guess.
I can't help but notice that we tried to get you to trash talk other Dofus players and you wouldn't do it, but trash talking the devs and the game designer, that's on the table.
I mean, I don't attack someone specifically,
No, you're right.
and they are already used to getting insulted 1,000 times a day on the forum. So I guess it's no big deal, you know.
That's true. Yeah.
They
You're not
suffer
doing
this.
anything special here.
Exactly.
Okay. Someone asks about the possibility to do dreams with 8 characters. They're asking me, but I'm curious to get your opinion about it. Personally, I never played teams of 8. So I'm not disappointed about that. I like that they're if making content specifically for 4 players means that it's better balanced, I'm all for it. What
Yeah,
about
me
you?
too. Subjectively, I'm happy that this doesn't exist because I don't play 8 loot. My PC couldn't handle it anyway.
Okay.
So it's obvious that if dreams are designed for 4 players, it's better balanced than if it was general. And even if there were several versions, like one version for 4 players, another for 8, it would be more work and thus less work that would flow into the 4-player version.
Yeah.
If you want to say it like this. Objectively, obviously, it's sad for those that like to play 8 characters, but I can understand Ankama's.
Yeah. And
But
hopefully
subjectively, I don't care. I have to
okay.
be honest.
All right.
It's sad for the 8 people.
We don't have the stats obviously, but in my opinion, I don't I think the number of people that play 8 loot is on the decline, like less and less. Maybe it's because Ankama is not catering to them anymore. But I feel like not that many people that I know of. Like, of course, I'm in
Yeah,
my own bubble of like playing with always the same people. I'm playing mostly on mono account, so obviously I'm not a lot exposed to 8 loot people, which is kind of the goal when you're playing 8 loots, because you want to talk with no one. You want your team to be full so
yeah.
no random can join. But I feel
It's
like
still very very attractive if you want to sell your Kamas.
yeah, but I don't
That,
think that's the kind of people that Ankama wants to cater towards.
yeah,
All
exactly.
right, let's see if there's let's see a couple of other questions maybe. Did you ask for thoughts on the difficulty level of new content and low win rates, especially during hunting season, Gargandias? I didn't ask about that. It's a bit outside of the scope of dreams, but maybe if you want to comment on that, how did you find the difficulty of the new content, especially on the different seasons, like the fact that it changes?
Um, so it depends on the content. If the Ripper dungeon, it's actually quite balanced, except for the season where the monster plus 20% vitality. Because it's when you hit the dungeon, it's a way more impactful buff than if they have MP or damage, because you can just adapt your strategy. But as it's a wave fight, you have a timer, you have time pressure, you need high damage. The increased HP will inevitably increase the difficulty. As for the easy 200 dungeon with the sleeping ape,
Yeah.
I don't really have a strong opinion. The game design is catastrophic. Like, it's one of the worst dungeons ever designed. Like,
So
I
not
won't
a
get
strong
into detail,
opinion,
but yeah,
but it's shit.
yeah, exactly. Uh, I guess not a strong, nuanced opinion about the season, you know, because the dungeon itself is just, it's not interesting. But anyway, as for the world boss, um, you have to admit that in the beginning, the season with the Zarbivore, I have
Yeah.
no idea about the English name. It was by far the easiest. Now they balanced it out a bit, but you can still say that this season was indeed the easiest. And The second one with the hard, you could say level 200 mob
Yeah, the
is the
Ripper
hardest
monsters.
because there's more mechanics. I mean, I saw it myself. Like I saw the resource prices. I could sell these resources for between 4 and 5 million each, and I could sell like the last 400, 200 different, ludicrous.
Okay.
And the third season is quite harder as well because you can less avoid the damage. The mobs hit AoE. So I guess the third and second are quite balanced. The first still needs to be increased in terms of its difficulty, but
Okay.
it's okay. But
How?
in general, the Titan, I awaited something stronger,
Okay.
something harder,
You were expecting like
because
this
because
impossible thing.
I mean you can just very fast habituate yourself to the fight,
Yeah.
and uh, you can farm it very fast.
Do you think like there's? Do you think adding some like RNG of like the monsters spawn at random spots, or the boss
It's
has
already the
like?
case. It's
All right.
already the case. The
Okay.
spawns are random, but
Okay. Okay.
they are, let's say, they are semi-random
Yeah. But I
because
like.
the random zones are just some cells apart, so it's not a large difference. Like for example, what I can do when I farm it is just playing a Sadi, and for each spawn zone of a mob, I can place a tree, and it doesn't matter where the mob spawns. I can infect all mobs because there's stars.
The area is
So yeah,
big enough, right?
it's not very impactful that
Okay.
it's random, but it's still nice to have, I guess, because you won't have fights that are exactly the same. You still will have different placements. So think a bit for your turns, but
Okay.
it's
So
nothing
like
crazy.
farming isn't just always the exact same turns. You have to like adjust
Yeah,
a bit every fight, and that's what you think.
yeah,
It's
but
interesting.
but not a lot.
Okay. Okay.
It's like it's not nothing extremely scripted. That's like I wanted to say, basically.
Yeah. But do you think like more randomness would disrupt the farming teams more and make it more interesting?
I do think so. The question is if the community will accept it or
Yeah.
um, make the forum on fire.
I
Raging
think
endlessly.
we cannot avoid having the forum on fire because there people are always gonna find something to get mad about. But yeah,
Yeah.
I understand. That was a good discussion. It's nice. I
I
really
do I do
enjoyed.
think I do think that the system with the five fights per week is interesting.
Okay,
I think they could do it more often for future content.
why do you think? Like, what do you think it brings?
It's mainly reduced abuse. Like if there's something extremely abusive, where you can generate a lot, it's limited. Because
Okay,
even if if you can still profit from it, you need to take different characters each time, and that's basically what these crazy people like Opico, etc., what they're doing. They're leveling 60 characters just to spend their weekend for doing this boss 100 times.
yeah. Do you
For
think
me,
that they're
even
gonna?
5 times, even 5 times is already exhausting,
Yeah.
extremely lucrative. But
The-
but yeah, it's still limiting. It's still better than if you can farm the same content like 1,000 times the same.
Okay, so do you think it should be limited to 5 times per account, or people are just gonna generate more accounts and still
I
farm it?
I do think they will generate more accounts. I'd still prefer to be per account because it makes it more difficult
Okay.
to abuse it.
Um, Probably this doesn't impact you, But would you personally? I see some people that are complaining about the 5 tries per week in regards of like they're doing the quest and it's their first time, so maybe it will take them more than 5 tries. Would
Yeah.
you? How would you feel about being it 5 wins instead of 5 tries?
But then again, the quest is quite generous. You don't even have to win the fight. You just have to pass the first 3 phases, which is just killing monsters.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously, you still need to know and understand the mechanic. And if you don't know anything about the fight, you know it's 5 tries, and you don't read Dofus for the noob. You're just so you have to inform yourself anyway.
yeah,
And I don't think it's too hard to apprehend, even with the first tries.
yeah,
I think most streamers, like Dofus streamers, they already passed the quest.
yeah.
Basically,
It's more in a context of like you're playing mono account. Maybe you don't have like all the best players in your guild.
yeah, but it's
It can
always
be a
the
bit.
same thing. Like I mean, you play mono account, random people, you will cry about everything.
Yeah,
It doesn't really matter
yeah. We
because
almost managed to
this will never
actually
turn up.
win like third try without. Yeah, we tried it with Eslix and we took us 3 tries, and at the third try was the end of like the time that we had, but we almost won, and we didn't look at the
Yeah,
noob at that point.
okay.
There was a lot of changes that they made
But
since then,
didn't you
but
like test it on beta?
yeah, that was on beta. Yeah, sorry, I
Okay,
was
okay, yeah.
missing. You were missing that
Because
context.
obviously for this kind of format, testing on beta is extremely advantageous
Oh,
because you
absolutely.
have just some sort of way of infinite tries.
Yeah. But yeah, anyways, like I did it on the non-beta and it took us 3 tries as well. I'm playing mono
Okay.
account. So I don't think it's too hard, but I agree that with some people saying that it can be frustrating to have a limited number of tries instead of a limited number of wins. And I
I
don't
mean,
think having a limited number of wins would.
you could maybe like allow infinite tries when you have the quest, but if you won one time, you are under the limit, like
Yeah, that would be a
because
good change.
you don't really damage the economy by losing time to do your quest.
Yeah,
So yeah,
there's not
I think
really much abuse in
this
there.
this would be a solution.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, it would take away the merit, a bit of the merit of the tournament. Who cares?
Okay. Let's see. One more question. From Persona, he's asking, what are your thoughts on the specific option farming teams being used 99% of the time there? I think you're talking about Gargandias, probably. But I guess it applies to the rest of the game. Double Croplus Inu can like basically roll on the game. This is a big can of worms that I don't necessarily want to open right now, but
I
maybe
mean,
you can.
it's an empty concern, honestly, because it's just a meta,
Yeah,
and it's easy to play, and the game is full of meta slaves. They will
yeah,
copy the same thing.
absolutely.
This doesn't want to say that this is like the ultimate. Like I don't know, like you saw recently, I played Excelor and I one-shotted like 4 mobs with 7k HP in one turn.
Yeah,
So it doesn't mean that you need a Kra to do the content or an Inu. Just it's the meta. It's what people like to play. Most people are casual and don't want to think a lot, so they
yeah.
play this. But it doesn't mean that it's the ultimate composition of the game. You know.
Okay, so you think
And
in terms of balance, the
if it's
game
not
is not.
Kra, it will be something else.
Yeah,
You can also think of Dreams. There was a time where everyone played 2 Ujinax in their composition.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that Ujinak was. It means everyone blindly follows some composition that some famous players
Yeah.
popularized, and they don't even think to play anything else.
Yeah. A lot
So
of
I would say that the fact that the classes are broken, but because people don't want to think and
okay.
already.
So personally, like I am mostly the same opinion as you. I think cross are played a lot not because they're broken, but because they're easy to play. They're fast to play, so people that want to farm,
Yeah,
they have this. Do you?
they are very strong without thinking.
Yeah. Do you
Basically,
share the same opinion as me that for now the classes are pretty well balanced across the board in terms of PvM?
I mean, if you want to know whether the classes are balanced or not, you just have. And if you look at PvP, you won't see that. So the question is
You
answered
think?
fast.
Well, but balancing for PvM and balancing for PvP are two different things, I think.
I don't
But
think so.
okay,
The
okay.
PvP nowadays is way more PvM.
Oh, sorry, you're cutting a bit. You said PvP is way more.
strategic than PvM.
Okay.
It values a lot more things than PvM. I mean, obviously I can't generalize you because here I'm mainly thinking of standard PvM. The standard PvM being you fight some mobs, you don't even think, you just click on your spells and you kill them, and you do this over and over.
Well, some
Not
people click
really
on their
strategy.
keyboard, but I get
Yeah,
the point.
obviously. Thanks for the nuance, but yeah, obviously things like the stuff that I do with the solid edges, etc. It is more technical. It makes more value out of. But yeah, basically, PvP still stays today the most strategic area of the game, and it's where you should uh, look at the balancing, because if a class is broken in PvP, if it's not for like some niche thing like AP reduction, it's very likely will also be broken because it's at the end of the day, it's similar mechanics.
I get it. I understand. Okay, let's maybe take one more question. Um, let's see if there's something interesting. Do you think we can train against Titan on forthcoming betas? Yeah, I think you can try. Like the next beta is gonna be in September. It's gonna be for the new Dreams content, but I think everything in the game is gonna be accessible. I don't see why not. People are saying buff crawl. Okay, I think maybe people, you have one last question. I can take one last question. Otherwise, we're gonna slow down this interview. Get this interview to a close. I can
Yeah,
take one more.
it's getting late, I guess. Are you
If not,
from Europe as well?
yeah, I live in France, but I'm more of
Yes.
a night owl. But I want to don't want to take too much of your time.
Yeah.
Eslix is asking, do you go to the gym? It's a pretty personal question and not related to dreams, but I'll take it.
I actually started to go to the gym 3 years ago. I was like really was like a twig before. I was
Okay.
like 49 kilograms.
Okay.
Now I'm about 65.
Okay.
It doesn't mean like I'm jacked or anything. Say I went from twig to normal.
Healthier. Yeah. Eslix asks as a follow up question, how much do you bench? This is very important for him.
I think I bench 65 kilograms for 9 reps.
Okay.
That's like my max. That's by the way, this is exactly
This is exactly your weight. That's what you said. Sorry. Got a
Yeah,
bit.
maybe my body weight has changed over time. It was 65 last time, but it didn't really change recently.
Okay,
I
cool.
actually stopped making progress because bulking sucks.
Yeah.
And I need more and more calories, but I just don't want it. I don't like eating.
You don't like eating? That's a hot take. Damn.
I mean, I do like eating, but I struggle to
Okay.
satiate it quickly. That's why I was always so lean
Yeah.
without really having problems. But yeah,
Okay. Well, that's good.
anyway,
That's good that you're taking the necessary steps to stay healthy. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Unless other stuff you want to give a quick last word on. If not, then I guess you can share a bit of your. Most people know you, like you said at the start. But if you want to share like your socials, you want to share upcoming projects that you have or stuff that you're excited about, that would be a good time to do it.
I don't really care. I'm no longer the content creator that wants to promote himself every time.
It's fine, but it's still, I just wanted to
Anyway,
offer you this opportunity.
just hit Volcasaurus on YouTube. You will
Yeah,
find me. And
that's it. So thank you very much. I really appreciate the time that you gave me and us as the English
yeah,
community as a whole. I really had fun talking with you. It's nice to get to know you a bit better and discuss this new content that I'm pretty excited about.
yeah, me
I'm
too.
personally like I really like roguelites, like I said earlier. So having this come more into life into Dofus is gonna be really fun for me. I can't wait to see the actual implementation, like you, I guess. Um, so yeah, that's it. Thanks a lot
Yeah,
again,
thanks.
and
Also, yeah,
yeah, I can't wait to see you solo Dreams on difficulty 10.
we'll see. But I
All
don't think so.
right, I'm gonna put the stream on pause for a bit. Just play this up, and then I'll be right back. I'm gonna go take a quick break, and then I guess we can have like the normal stream resume. Maybe I'll play a bit,
Yeah,
get a bit
I
of
guess.
discussion with the viewers. So everyone, please join me in saying thanks to Volka, and see you in a couple of minutes.
Maybe see you next time and good night, I guess. And good rest of the stream.
Thank you, man.